So we haven't actually sat down and had a chance to talk.
Good to meet you in 3D.
Yeah, this is good because I get to learn more about what Invenshure is doing in your background, your track record. So do an intro. Let us know about you.
So my name's Dan Cunagin. I have a mechanical biomedical engineering degree with a concentration in philosophy, sort of weird mix, but it works for me. Came to Minnesota as a summer intern to Medtronic. So that was really my first job. And then they decided I should stick around and finish my degree here. So I did that, worked for them for a couple of years back when Earl was still walking the halls there. So that was a very sweet thing. But my father's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Wasn't married yet, had a good vocation to fall back on. And I thought, okay, if I'm going to go do this thing, let's go do it now. So I gracefully disengaged and joined a really small consulting firm, 4 people, shrink down to 2. And then over the course of 10 years, built that into a pretty successful company. We had 120 engineers around the world. And people would come to us with their intellectual property in the form of a patent or a prototype. And we'd do all the engineering and the manufacturing and give it back to them. And they would push it through their sales and marketing channels. So 40% of our business was medical, 40% was industrial, 20% was consumer. Then we built a products business inside of that service business. And then in 2008, we sold that to a PE. And tried to do nothing for a while and failed miserably, and then was asked to take a look at some technology out of the University of Minnesota in the MRI space. Joined that company, raised $3 million worth of capital, built a preclinical product, and then sold that to GE Healthcare in 2011. It was a nice win for all the shareholders. Then me and my business partner thought, hey, well, that was fun. We can either do that again serially or think about a model where we could do that more broadly. And that's when we developed the concept of Invenshure. Invenshure is now referred to as a venture studio. Back then, it didn't have a term, but it was literally a closed incubator where we would access technologies, and then we would build the strategy, we would build the company, we would raise the capital, build the MVP, get out and start generating revenue. And then sort of the idea that we build it to a point where it would get to a certain level of value, and then we'd sell it onto a strategic. And so we raised 2 small funds and launched 8 companies with those funds, and we've shut 1 down. We sold 3.5 now, and we have 4 ongoing as we speak here. And we're all in healthcare, primarily personalized medicine, genomics, genetics. I also personally run the therapeutic franchise, of which we have 2 therapeutics that we're running through as well. So that's the model. We don't really invest in any external companies, but we have seen every single step from idea all the way to sale and managing your earnout on the backside. So we have a lot of knowledge about how the process is run, and would be delighted to share that, as I'm one of the old white guys in the room with, just like you, Christian. And so I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking about paying it forward, and been very humbled and very blessed by our journey. A couple of numbers. We have about 300, 400 ultra high net worth angel investors, and they will typically stand behind our seed and our A. We usually bring in 1 strategic for the B, and then it turns into a syndicate of strategics for our D and on. We also have we've secured about $20 million in non-dilutive capital through SBIR, STTR. We're probably the largest consumer of the Minnesota Angel Tax Credit program historically across all of our companies. And we've enjoyed about $30 to $40 million of in-kind contribution by the NIH, the NCI. And last but not least, we've been very blessed to raise $250, $300 million in just equity capital from our syndicate, not our angels, but our VC syndicate as our companies mature and go forward. So we really start at the very beginning and go all the way to the very end. And we do this here in Minneapolis.
Wonderful. Okay, so it's a closed ecosystem from the standpoint of you like to incubate it and move it through your process.
Yes.
However, this is maybe new to you, the Bullpen concepts. You're always bringing resources into this company. It's probably like other accelerators.
Absolutely.
Probably looking for people, looking for partners, looking for investors. With that in mind, how would you like to engage with the Bullpen the rest of the day? And how can the Bullpen help you? You're doing great. Not suggesting you need it, but when you give us an opportunity to help, it gives us the opportunity to connect. So how can we help you?
Well, I appreciate the question, but that's really not why I'm here. I'm really here with just availability, right? There's probably nothing in this journey that we haven't done from the very beginning. So if you're struggling with something about how to do it, what are other options, what are funding options, I'm would be a resource. Now, I do have a
You're open to
full-time
that.
job.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to be careful. If you're giving out free advice here, you might have some takers.
Going concern, but there will be a limit to my ability. But I have a really strong team that also thinks like-minded, and we're beginning to sort of make ourselves available to these eagles to sort of help other people on their journey.
Well, thanks for taking a flyer on this event today. And, you know, it's new and it's a different concept. So appreciate you making yourself available. And I hope you make some great connections.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay.